So we're waiting. Hey, everyone.
Hello.
We're so excited. Hold on. We are just about getting set up. I can't wait to share this with you. Welcome to Love Vibe Chats. And closing that, coming back to Zoom. And there we are. Yay. So we are live on Facebook. Hi, everyone. So let me introduce. My name is Macy. I am the founder of the Love Advantage, Love Vibe TV, and now Love Vibe Chats, where we do live Facebook Lives on this page, talking about things that really matter in love and in relationships. So if you are a spiritually conscious, single, smart woman who really wants to make this the year to create that meaningful love, get over those blocks, and have that kind of relationship that you really know is in your heart, then please like this page, because if you like this page, then you'll get notified of future things like this, because we have a really special guest, and these are really priceless opportunities to get free support and inspiration and training to help you be more successful in love. So I am so happy you're here, Mariah. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, good. Good. So today's topic I'm really excited about, because I think it's such an important part to really know how we're showing up in pictures. So this is the secrets to having magnetic online profile pictures. So will you share just a little bit about you before we start?
Sure, I'd love to. Thank you. My name is Mariah, like Macy said, and I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me. And I'm a portrait photographer. I have an incredible old renovated studio in West Wash Park, and I help heart-centered folks show their story through images without the stress of a typical session. So I really want to stress that point, because getting your photos is so stressful. And if anybody doesn't think so, then you're very unique. So I really have developed a whole business around making sure that there's no stress involved there, and getting down to what your real authentic self, to have that come out and show through in the photos.
Yeah, I love that, because I think that's just so many people have a hard time even looking at themselves on camera or in pictures. And what I love about what you shared with me before is that you really do notice that there can be a process to help people do that. Because I know some people probably have, pictures they're taking on their phone, and many of these practices probably could even work for selfies or whatever they're doing.
Absolutely. It's there's always, it really doesn't depend so much on the equipment. It's really about getting that expression to come through. And there's a few other things like lighting and that you want to worry about, but when it comes down to it, expression is everything. And if you can get that beautiful, authentic expression, you're golden. That's going to be the most important thing in showing yourself in a photo.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So I can't wait to hear some of the things that you want to share, because this is talking about the inner self. Like, this is, what I've seen in your work or your art is that, there is like this sparkle that can come out of our eyes and in our face. What is that? Because I used to watch America's Next Top Model, and Ira was always talking about the smize. It feels like you're talking about a smize, something really special.
Yeah, absolutely. The smize is, it's something you kind of have to work up to. Like, models are really good at doing it on command, but that's their job. That's what they work on all the time. But for us lay folk that aren't models, part of it is connecting with your heart and just breathing, and really understanding your why and what it is that you want to show the world and how you want to show up. Either your why in your business, why you're starting this off, and what it is that's driving you to go every day, or the why behind basically how you want to show up in the world and show the world that inner you, that authentic you, and getting to that smile in the eyes, the smize, as Tyra Banks, I think, that coined that one.
Yeah.
Relaxing and letting the stress go and centering yourself and just taking a deep breath, forgetting about the camera, and pretend like you're looking into your own soul, or into, somebody you love, or even a thought or a memory or a word or a puppy. Like, it could be anything that brings you to that place of joy that you can bring out or connect back into. And then you just let it come out naturally, and never, ever hold a smile. You never have to hold a smile, because then that's where it starts to get fake and you lose it in the eyes, and it just stays.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, is this different from, like, because for online profile pictures, I mean, this is a very sensitive thing. I mean, there's like multiple layers of sensitivity. One, that you're putting yourself out there saying, I want love. You're putting yourself in a place where a whole bunch of people are going to be scanning through profiles. And, I have a couple questions about this. First one, like, how different is it when you're helping people with online profile pictures? Is there a different thing that we're accessing for those kinds of pictures than someone who is getting like a headshot for their business pictures?
Oh, absolutely. That goes right back to the intention too. Because when you're doing something when I work with people that are getting online dating photos, you kind of want to work that balance between vulnerability and owning your own power.
Yeah.
And not being too shy, or having, you're also working with body language as well as those micro expressions. And like, say somebody's a lawyer, they're coming to me and they want, that corporate headshot, and, they're going to cross their arms and they're going to look stern and stuff and assertive or even aggressive, because you want to see that, that they're going to stand up for you and their clients. They're not going to let any gruff. But if you're dating, you don't want that stern sort of power pose, or, that really aggressive crossed arms look. You want a little bit more softness, a little more vulnerability, a little bit more openness as well. And yet still maintain that, you're an individual and you're going to own your own self and your own power. And so finding that balance between vulnerability and your own strength.
That's really good. So what is the secret to getting to that vulnerability? Because I know it's not just, okay, put your head this way or lean this way. Like, everyone's going to be different in how they access that or not. Like, what is the secret that you would recommend for people to access that before they either have their friends take pictures of them, or, do their own self-timer, or go to someone like you?
So getting to that vulnerability spot, I think, has to do with, part of it is being honest with yourself. And if you're, where are you? Are you ready to get out there into the world? And if you're not, then that's going to be a little harder to get there, because it's harder to put yourself out. But accepting that it might be a little scary, because being vulnerable it's supposed to feel a little scary, because you're opening up part of your insides, not literally, of course, but you're opening up part of your heart to the outside world, and especially in putting that in a photo. But if you're taking the photo yourself, I would say, on a very practical level of, going back to that why and that intention again, and breathing, always breathe, taking a deep breath, and just being, try not to do any of the fake smiles, or, the goofy angles and the duck face, and, just have a genuine smile, and bring that genuine smile up, and think of those points of joy that I mentioned before, and forget the camera is there, and just look into the eyes of your future beloved. Think of looking into that person that you desire, and what that feels like. And is that joy? Is that, contraction? I hope not, because they would probably need to work with you some more.
Yeah.
But it is, really tapping into something that, tapping into a desire that you want to feel. And when you feel it, you can see it. It's the same thing like if you put on your favorite shirt or your favorite outfit, you feel fantastic. And, somebody else might look at that outfit and be like, what? And you're like, no, I'm rocking this one. And really letting that out, letting yourself out, being who you are and not trying to create another persona. Because I've seen that a lot too, where people try and create another persona, and it doesn't work. I remember when I was in New York for a while, I tried the high heels, I tried the suits, it just didn't work for me. But I was trying too hard to be a different persona, and that wasn't me.
Because you thought you should be that way because you were in New York City doing what you were doing. Yeah.
So just being you, and letting your freak flag fly, and embrace that originality about yourself.
Yeah. So I love that. So it's really like accessing. You talk about the why. I think it'd be good to expand on that a little bit, because the why, meaning in relationship, what is this experience going to bring you? This isn't about, oh, let's just get a boyfriend. Well, certainly not in my community so much, but like what, why is having a partnership so important to you, and getting into the feeling of that, right?
Yes, exactly. Because once you're thinking about those feelings and you're able to internalize them, they're going to show up in your expression.
Okay.
Yeah, and it works on any end of the spectrum. If you think of any strong feelings that you've had, and just go throughout the day and take pictures of yourself and write down how you felt at that moment, and you will see a difference in those photos. If you wake up in the morning, if you're like me, and if you're one of those crazy morning people, I'm ready to start the day. And then by 8 o'clock, I'm like, I just can't even, it shows on your face. So how you're feeling is going to show up in your face and in your eyes and that expression.
Okay. So that's really good. So that leads me to think that if you are you're creating a plan that, hey, I'm going to put an online profile out there. And so I need some pictures, which, one thing we didn't say yet is how valuable it is to take new pictures.
Oh, yes.
Right. With the intention, because the picture is capturing the intention. I'm assuming too, that if you're just pulling a picture out from, even a year ago, that's not the same intention. So I guess one of the things I always recommend is absolutely take new pictures for a profile, and let yourself then, to your point about how you're feeling when you're taking them, take the time to get to that place, preparing in getting dressed in the way that feels good, and, maybe the time of day.
Yeah. And get dressed the way that makes you feel good. Pick a time of day that you feel good in. You move your body, because moving your body can also stimulate those, those feel good neurotransmitters in your brain. Just like shake it off and get excited, and be excited before you do it, and get rid of the nerves, and get rid of, don't put too much on it, because if you put too much on it, it'll add stress to it, and you'll feel like, okay, if I don't make this shot at this time of day wearing my favorite outfit, it's never going to happen. Like that's going to send you down a rabbit hole, and it's going to be harder to connect to your intention and get that expression out again.
Yeah. Is it fair to say that the image really does hold a lot of those words or those feelings in the image? Like,
absolutely.
Felt.
And absolutely. And anybody who's done any online dating and they've gone through other people's profiles, you see those expressions, and you see how varied they can be, or even how absent they can be. And
good point.
And how, if you have a photo from a year ago, kind of ask yourself too, do I like that photo because it's a good photo of me, or do I like that photo because I was in a good place then?
I love that.
which is going back to one of my mentors did this post once where she asked everybody to put their favorite photo of themselves. And it was such an interesting accidental experiment because the photos, they were just like regular snapshots. And almost everybody in there posted their why behind why they liked those photos was because of the place they were in emotionally.
Oh my goodness. I love that. I think that is so huge because then, how can you kind of create that for yourself then? Like in the moment that you're taking the picture, like being in that place of, that future love. Yep. And sorry, my computer's beeping. And then have that captured within the image. I know I personally did that. Even though I didn't get professional photos done, which I think is a really good idea. And I recommend that. Why not? Because beyond just having a quality picture, and it doesn't have to be some glamour shot. It's really about just capturing, like what you're talking about, capturing your true expression. And, but that they are really holding what it is that you're intending. Like you are actually speaking through an image to your future partner.
Yeah.
So, on the sort of practical level, like, are there things that you would say, don't do, like maybe colors or patterns or backgrounds or glasses, no glasses, sunglasses probably would be bad, but
no sunglasses.
Okay. Will you just list off some of the things that are absolute don'ts?
Yeah, don't wear sunglasses. Get out of the bathroom. You really don't need a picture in front of your car. Those are the big ones. And yeah, sunglasses I think are definitely, get rid of those because they're going to hide your expression, and they're not going to tell anything about you. And that's like the opposite of being vulnerable. That's putting up another wall. And the last thing you want to do when you're looking for that, that true love, basically, you're the thing you desire the most in a partner is put up any walls, and you want to be open and inviting. For clothing, of course I've got a list of, wardrobe recommendations, but in the end, wear something you love. Cause, like your photos, for example, you're bright and tons of prints and mixed prints, and it works. It works for your brand. It works for your personality. And that's what's going to be more important than, making sure you don't have any visual movement in, the photos. Like, standard for personal branding, I usually recommend, like solid colors and, don't have too many patterns because they can distract. But in the end, I think the most important thing is going to be that expression. There are certain body like poses that express different body language, like a little tiny head tilt, especially for women. Because that's kind of a vulnerable way. It's, goes back to like caveman days where this is a very vulnerable part of the body. And it also is a part that like emits pheromones. So even gesture is kind of, like, hello.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. I think that's beautiful.
And I'm guilty of this one. I do it all the time in photos, and I don't mean to, but I've got like this. When I start flirting, I can't. It's hard to rein it back in, and with anyone. I mean, a cute guy or a little kid or something. I'm just like, it's fine. But there's a smirk that happens when when a lot of people flirt, and the smirk can have a micro expression of contempt. So if you're taking, like a little smirk like that in a photo, you don't have the context behind it. So it can trigger like the subconscious meaning of contempt. So you want to try and avoid smirks in dating photos.
So what is a smirk? Will you just do a couple? Okay.
Yeah. You see them in politicians a lot. Exactly.
Just a good demo. Okay. Okay. That's really good. All right. What else? Because I'm kind of like, here's a question. I don't know if this is answerable or not, but so we're talking about like really getting connected to our intention, getting connected to our body. You said move around, take breaths, and really tune into your why. Like why, who am I really looking at? So in online dating profiles, we're looking at the future partner and feeling that. Then when does the smile happen? Is it like we just get to that place of like juiciness and it just naturally happens? Or do we want to like actually commit to a smile and know that it includes all of this? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. And it really, honestly, I think it depends on the person, because I've had a couple different types of people where sometimes they need to warm up to it, so they can go very slow from a to a big smile. Whereas others, they don't have in between smiles. Like it's not in their DNA. It's not in their genetics. So they can go, a tiny little smile to, they can only do big smiles, which,
okay.
I mean, it's a great skill. And they just bring it all out and let it go, like let the little corners of your eyes crinkle, because that's showing that it's a real smile. Don't be afraid of those.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another micro expression of joy and happiness. So if anything you can get across, that it shows that you're being authentic and you're a happy person that wants to find another happy person to spend time with and grow with. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so good. I love that. So it really does actually underscore for me how valuable it is to work with someone like you, to have that, because I've witnessed it with my clients. I mean, I've had clients, go, and I've recommended them to get pictures taken, and just being in that space between, the person and the photographer, and having that support, like,
yeah,
the way that you talk to people and the way that you can see, because you can sort of feel when people are a little uncomfortable or awkward in their body, and offer, some words and guidance to then relax. Because the other thing that I also notice is sometimes there are positions that, show our bodies well that aren't really natural positions.
Oh no, they're so unnatural. They feel so weird, but they look amazing on camera. Yeah.
Right. So that's why I think it's kind of like, well, it's a huge deal to do that. Like, get you're like a sparkle whisperer, like you're bringing it out.
I like that. I'm going to use that one, sparkle whisperer.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do these things. You can practice them on your own. You can, like jump around, I love having little mini dance parties. A little dance party, get the blood pumping, get rid of some of those stress hormones that have been flooding your body, put on something you love, put on some great music, take some selfies, see how they turn out, take some more, practice it on your own, practice, bringing up the smile into the eyes, look in the mirror, work with it. These are all things you can practice and work on. It's not, there's no, magic, one thing that one person has done and it works. It's something that we all can do. And like you said too, there's, for me, with working with my clients, I feel like more of a partner / cheerleader with them. Like I want to make sure that I can help them get to that place. That's I feel like that's my job more than taking the photo. Is my job is helping them get to that place and feeling that little that spark that can come up and into their and show up in their photos.
Yeah. What do you think can be healed with the camera? Because I feel like I've had experiences having my picture taken where I just really felt that I was seen in a different way, and that I was able to express myself in a different way. And there's just something really beautiful about that.
I found, so I have my own photo shoots too, because I feel that it's just as important for me to do it as it is for anybody coming to me. And, you know, from my personal experience, there's just so many layers that can be healed, because you are, just getting in front of a camera, someone else's camera. So like some of the feelings that come up immediately is they're going to judge me on whatever that list is that you hold on to, whatever the beliefs are that you have. And I can almost guarantee you that other person doesn't know anything about them. Like you see yourself so much differently than the world sees you. And getting in front of the camera and just being vulnerable, it's right there is a transition and a bit of a transformation in that step alone, but also allowing yourself permission to love yourself. You know, there's a huge point of self-love in these photos. A client I had recently, she was looking at all these photos and she had this moment of like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve these beautiful photos. And she loved all of them. I don't deserve this. You know, I really shouldn't spend money on myself. And I turned to her, I said, is that what you want your daughter to think? You know, like, what would you do if what would you tell your daughter if this were her session? And she was looking at photos of herself. She goes, oh my God, I would buy them all for her. Like, you know, this is incredible. I said, well, don't you think she wants that for you? Like, won't she cherish these of you as well? And it just set off this little light bulb of, you know what? I do deserve this. I do deserve to see myself in a beautiful way and to feel amazing and to show that to the world. And it's like, there's another level of, you know, pushing through that vulnerability. And I honestly, truly believe that when you get to that point of self-love, like that's when the joy really comes out. That's when you're able to live a happy life. Because if you love yourself, you're filling up your own cup. And when your cup is full, you can give to others. And that, you know, like in that service, whatever that service is for you, whether it's, you know, helping people in your coaching business or, you know, whatever the people that come to me in their businesses or for their dating picture, whatever that service is for them, it's giving back to them twice as much. And so back to the photos and the healing, just getting through that, any barrier you can get through to another place of self-love, I think is amazing. And it's incredible to be able to help in that transformation of, you know, that little bit of healing.
I totally agree. I think that that's so good because, you know, you really nailed it. Because I think what I was noticing is that the times I've, you know, done a photography session, you know, and then reviewed pictures with the photographer, the thing that really struck me was the judgments that I had for myself, you know, no one else has.
Nobody.
And I trust they're not just being nice, but like, you know, we have these, you know, we just hold on to these things about our bodies and what we look like that aren't helping at all, you know?
No. And
when you can have someone say, oh, here's what I see in you that you haven't seen, and just it's someone who can, you know, bring you through this journey in a way that actually shows you in your best, most beautiful you without globbing on tons of makeup and like making it some, you know, gimmicky thing, but like really see you and have that. I mean, I noticed that in your photos so much, like there really is such a connection with people that you capture, and it's really cool.
Thanks. Yeah, that's my dream, you know, is to be able to help show people their value, their worth, and in an authentic way. The authenticity I think is the key point to that. And when I can hit onto that self-love and self-value point, it's you know, my day is made. Like that's like it's just amazing to be able to show that.
Yeah, that's so great. I mean, one thing we didn't talk about really is like lighting and makeup. I mean, that's something that people, if they're doing their own pictures, they need to pay attention to that a little bit, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's always ways to work around makeup, especially because I know some people have they don't like to wear any makeup, or they're wearing a lot of makeup. I have a makeup artist come in for my clients, and they, even the people that don't wear any makeup, I still like to do a little bit because I feel like the camera, not feel like, I know the camera fades things a little bit, especially the lips and the eyebrows. So I always like to have people hit those up a little bit, just a little bit of gloss, or a little bit of extra thing.
Cool.
And all of it is to make those eyes pop. So it's the focus around the makeup is to make the expression pop more, and be more at the forefront.
Right.
And lighting. You back to, you asked about things to avoid. Definitely avoid direct lighting on the face, because that shows everything, and we don't, not that we don't need to see everything, but it's not the most flattering lighting.
Okay.
Nice flat lighting. If you're outside, go into a shadow, have the shadow, take a photo in the shadow, or have the light behind you, have the sun behind you. If you can, like, get something white to shine up, to reflect back onto the face, so there's a little bit more light and less shadow on the face, if you're doing it that way. But those are probably the primary ones. And avoid those horrible, like, direct overhead lights indoors. I find that nice flat lighting, because you can see here I've got like half shadow. I've got light coming in both sides, but it's still it's flatter in this area. But
even better, it would be better just to have you do them. So
just come on in. Yeah.
Will you tell people? Will you tell people how they can work with you?
Sure.
Because I know you work with people all over the country, so it's not a limiter that they're not where you are. And so tell people how they can work with you, and a little bit about your dream.
Oh, the destination shoots.
Yeah.
So to work with me, you can go to my website. It's mariahphotography.com, or head to my Facebook page, Mariah Ehlert Photography, and from there you can find all the links to go to all the.
We'll post your link below.
Yeah. Thank you. The dream sessions are, so usually what I do is a lot of personal branding stuff, and that's here local in Denver. A lot of fun, way more than just a headshot, making sure that your whole brand is shown. And then additionally, one thing I love to do is once or twice a year, that's probably my goal at this point, is to do a dream destination, and going to, for example, Paris, and doing, go all out, get the gowns. There's places you can rent gorgeous runway gowns from, and go at sunrise to the Eiffel Tower and have this beautiful sunrise light coming in. And it's an amazing experience. It's super fun too. I was talking to somebody that was looking at bringing her best friend and having it be like a girls' night, or girls' day, I guess, a girls' trip.
Yeah.
And just celebrating their relationship and their friendship. And it's pretty incredible. And there's a whole crew that can, hair and makeup comes, and behind the scenes videos, so they can have that to treasure too. And
Awesome. And anyone who wants to have their online profile pictures taken by a professional who knows what she's talking about, who will bring out your sparkle and capture that intention, the energy of you and your beloved in the picture, so that when he's going through the profiles, that he recognizes you. It's a real thing. Like, this energy is really powerful. That
I love that idea.
You are, what you're showing in your picture is actually matching who you are, and it's not sending out some funky message. Then you want to contact Mariah and book your ticket to Denver, come hang out in her studio, which is phenomenal, and take care of yourself and give yourself that amazing gift, whether it's for just this, but it can be for everything else too, to, really have an experience of seeing your beauty.
Yes, I love that. Thank you, Macy.
Yeah. So great. So I will, after this, I'll post your website link below. You know, your name's here. People can friend you and connect with you. And I'm so happy that you shared with us your wisdom around this. Thank you so much.
Thanks. It was a lot of fun talking to you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.